Okay, so here's a video I never thought I'd be able to make and wasn't planning on making, but I thought I'd make it because I am a couple days, and probably maybe one workout or two workouts before I leave for France for the World Championships. And why I'm making this video, it's because I want to say, officially cured of my tendonitis issues. So let me roll back. This is the first time I have not had any elbow or shoulder tendonitis issues since 2017-ish, or possibly even before that. But they were really bad in 2017. And I have been slowly remediating these problems over the years. And this is one of the things I credit why American Ninja Warrior was so serendipitous for me, because it actually did help me fix my tendonitis issues. It took me a while, but I finally got it. So if you suffer from tendonitis issues, and anyone that, let's just say, participates in an activity that requires pulling, gripping, hanging, pressing, I've got a fix for you. Fixes for you. And I was a good poster child for really, really bad problems, and I've fixed them all, and I'm so proud of myself for that. And I was waiting for this moment because I knew, okay, going into this season, the 2024 season, I knew I was starting to get a grip on all of my issues. And the last lingering one was my elbow tendonitis, or tennis elbow. It's actually golfer's elbow, right? No, tennis elbow, the one on the top. Anyway, it's just a workout. I'm hypoxic. And I fixed the tendonitis issues, but I wanted to strengthen that area even more so. So, okay, so let me go back. This isn't scripted. I'm totally just really happy with myself for fixing this. So back in 2017, going into the World Championships in LA, I was going to be man one for a very fast team. And I was starting to get tendon issues in my elbow. My elbow. And this is from doing a lot of deadlifts and all kinds of stuff that I wasn't conditioned for, and obviously was overzealous and overdid things. It was an overuse issue, and more importantly, I didn't give time for the tendons to strengthen themselves, and that's the biggest lesson number one. Your tendons take a lot longer to build as opposed to your muscles. And this I did know from being a climber in my 20s, and silly me, I just didn't think about that. And I paid the price. And to the point where when I did starting efforts that 2017 season, it was an excruciating amount of pain. Granted, it wasn't a constant pain, but whenever I pulled on the bar for a start, which you pull on very, very hard, it was excruciating. It was to the point where I would mentally brace myself for the pain and just know, hey, in a few pedal strokes it'll be over with, or it'll be not as bad, but it's gonna hurt like the dickens. And sure enough, it did. And I just dealt with those things. And I tried all kinds of different things. And this is why I think it's great if you keep a journal, because, spoiler alert, I didn't keep a journal, but at least I have semi-decent memory. And I know I struggled with it. And as that was happening, I was starting to have shoulder issues too. And this was the thing, was I was getting shoulder issues in the front of my deltoids, because they were actually underdeveloped from doing Ninja Warrior stuff and other stuff. I was trying to get back into calisthenics. Though when I started calisthenics years ago, I had no idea it was called calisthenics. But as I was jumping into the calisthenics work before I was asked to be on Ninja Warrior, I was setting myself up for a recipe for shoulder tendonitis issues, and sure enough, that happened. And taking a break from training for Ninja Warrior actually really did help me. But more importantly, it gave me motivation to strengthen the opposing muscles, which solved my problems. So I'll go into more detail of like how I fix all these because I can't do it in a whole video. But I mean, this is huge because every competitive athlete, I want to say, a long-term competitive athlete, is going to have tendon issues. I'm not going to say everyone, but most do. In some form or another, they're going to have some kind of overuse issue. And I'm going to throw that in the umbrella. Not necessarily tendonitis issues, but overuse injuries. And that's par for the course, because if you do something, one particular movement or movements, a few movements, over and over and over and over again in the hopes of perfecting those movements, you are going to quickly tip into the region of overuse. And this is why it's important, and this is 53-year-old Will telling younger Will, it's the importance of taking a step back and working on opposing muscles, giving your tendons time to become less inflamed. Patience, this is what I would tell younger Will, patience. And that's so hard, especially when you're making progress and you're just so hungry, and then overuse injuries happen. And then that just totally not only stops you, it sets you back. And that's the thing, is having the wisdom, which most of us won't have, to know when to say no, and when to say like, hey, I gotta stop. And I'd like to think 53-year-old Will knows that now. And that's why, partly, the saving grace of my schizophrenic workouts is you watch all my shorts and my reels, and you wonder, like, what is this guy doing? It's like, well, the thing is that guy's doing a lot of different things. This guy is doing a lot of different things to avoid overuse injuries and to strengthen opposing muscle groups. Because you might think, like, that has nothing to do with cycling. That's precisely why I'm doing that, because it has nothing to do with cycling directly, but it does indirectly, because it's helping me strengthen opposing muscles that I use in my main sport. Catch my drift? There is a method to my madness. I wouldn't necessarily say that's what I sought out to do initially, but that's how it ended up. And when I finally started to realize, like, hey, Will, you're onto something here, that's when I really started to pursue and really embrace what I was doing, because I was clearly getting results in cycling from doing non-cycling exercises. So yet another rant. I would love to be the elbow tendon and shoulder tendon whisperer. Elbow tendon, I would say definitely. Shoulder is a very complex joint. I'm fortunate, I haven't had a catastrophic injury there, and I have full mobility, but I didn't used to. I did have an injury, and it did set me back a long time, and I'll talk about that one at another point, because I like that story, because that's just one of these things where you hear stupid ideas and you believe them, and years later you're wondering, like, well, why did I believe why did I believe that? And that was incredibly stupid. But I'll save that story for another day. Thanks for watching, but just know that Will Wong managed to complete his 2024 season. Well, almost. I'll tell you in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, how I completed my season, but I'm going into the final event of my season without any tendon issues, it's huge, given it's been 7 years. Thanks for watching.